Hey everyone, welcome to Collector Chatter. In today's episode, we're going to talk about our experience at New York Comic Con. Thrilljoy just turned 1 year old, and Rokimoto has a brand new premium figure that we can't wait to get into.
Collecting is the way. Now let's chat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Collector Chatter. This is episode 144. I am Migs here with Charlie. As always, what's up? Very excited for this episode.
Me too. Excited to talk about our experience at New York Comic Con. Obviously, as you mentioned, a lot of our new favorite companies have some cool new things to talk about.
Yep.
And yeah, even Topps Chrome has some really high-end cards coming out that we're going to talk about later at the end of the episode.
Yep.
Which obviously we always get excited about because we're basically card collectors now.
Yeah, you're gonna see cards and maybe comic book collectors now. We talk a little bit about New York Comic Con, but we'll start it with that. We'll kind of just go into a little bit of a recap of how our New York Comic Con went. We didn't really get to talk about it on here, so we went, of course, the Thursday and the Friday. We told you guys ahead of time that we were, going to be there. We did see some people, which was cool. It was fun to finally meet some people that maybe we've, have spoken to at some point or online or whatever, but never in person. So that was fun. And then even some people that we have met before, being able to see them again. So we'll get into that and kind of maybe just some stuff that overall that the con that we got excited for, some booths and some things that we were very hyped about when it came to this year, for us at least, for the 2 days that we were there with Comic-Con. But you could start us off if you want with what was kind of like a little highlight for you for this year.
I mean, for me, my highlights actually ended up being what I thought were going to be my highlights. There were no surprises. So for me, that was Veefriends and Mischief Toys. Like, in my opinion, that was where I am at right now as a collector. They were the best of the con for the I mean, Veefriends has a lot going on, but if I wanted to talk about just the vinyl figure of it all, like, I think Mischief Toys like kicked ass. They had a new figure every day. They had pins. If you spend a certain amount of money, they gave you a free pin. If you had merch, they gave you something. They gave you a free sticker and a button, but then they also gave you the option to buy a limited edition pin that you could only get if you were wearing merch. And I mean, they made it into a game as well. Like, if you were wearing merch every day, you got what ultimately became Ghastly as one of the Ninja Turtles. So I mean, they were so super awesome. And then on the final day, if you were there every day and show that you were wearing the merch, you then got to buy the special one to complete the set, and that was Krang. Demonstra's Krang, and Ghastly was like the Krang's like the brain inside. I mean, I thought that was super awesome. Then they had a Ghostbusters theme. Like I said, if you bought X amount per day at the booth, you got this special pin. And yeah, they had which people were going crazy over. They had a Statue of Liberty figure, which was the Statue of Mischief. It had a 26-piece, I believe, variant that was all red, and they were in blind bags. And I didn't realize at the time, but Heather actually said it on one of their streams on the Gasslecast. So they kind of put them in black plastic baggies to kind of give you that New York theme of buying something from like a bodega or whatnot. Then they had a pizza Ghastly. Then the next day they had rat Ghastly that also had a variant. Then they had, which I love this one, Ghastly getting pooped on by a pigeon. That also had a variant. And then the last day they had Kong Ghastly, which is just awesome. Their booth, everything about them. I know if you're in this community, you probably know them from the Gasslecast, but I just think they're kind of underrated when it comes to the vinyl collectible world. And I like that they keep having a presence at New York Comic Con. It's looking now that they'll probably go to San Diego Comic Con next year with a booth, since they made the trip this year. But yeah, I'm going to stop there talking about Mischief Toys because just curious what you thought about them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they usually are one of our favorites. I mean, the last few years that we have gone together, they've been kind of usually who we will hit up first. Things sell out pretty quick. And they do the whole like different exclusive for each day thing. Like, not many people really do that. Most
Yeah.
people have an allotment of things for each day or whatever it is, but they like really run after the whole, this is super exclusive. This is the only time you get it. You get it this first day. If it happens to have extra, sometimes they'll split it over to the other days, but there's always something new. And then a big thing, like you mentioned, that was cool is they did like the whole little like kind of chase variant type thing with all their figures. So it was like, you had a chance at one. If not, you got the other one. The Liberty one obviously was the one that was in a bag and it was all like special to look like takeout and whatever. But the other ones were more like the box was just one
Yeah.
certain box and you had to open it up and then kind of see a little bit of a difference. It wasn't huge variations, but it was cool that it was a little more special. But yeah, all their stuff was great every day. I mean, we were there just mostly for those 2 days. So I know your cousin was there the whole weekend, so he was able to kind of get to the booth every day. But seeing like what they did and then how I've said this before, but like they do an amazing job of actually making it all about like the New York theme.
Yes.
And they did like, pizza, they did a pigeon, they did a rat. So like, it fits New York. So it's like mostly stuff that's gonna be perfect for that con, which a lot of people don't do that. It's just like, oh, this is an exclusive. It happens to be where we're at, New York Comic Con. Like they really, hone in on that. So I thought that was interesting. That was, I like that as well. And I will say sometimes it can feel a little overwhelming because they do come out with a lot of stuff. Especially if you're like you're a big fan and you feel like you have to get everything, which most of their people are. They do give you a lot of variation though, where you can kind of be pick and choose, like, like, okay, maybe I like this, I don't like that. So like that's actually not bad because it's not like if you don't like the one, let's say that they dropped, then you're never going to get anything else. Like, at least you have options, I guess you could say. So it's not a bad thing, but I get your point that it's like they're underrated where I don't even know necessarily if they're totally underrated because they're definitely known now. I mean, even Funkos of the world and Mike and stuff have like they know them. So like they're big enough that like, people do know them, but I think there's still a lot of people who have no idea about their figures, which is interesting to see. But yeah, I agree. That was definitely, and they had a big booth and a pretty big.
They had a big booth.
Like,
they were also giving out like, headbands for kids. I mean, even adults could wear them that were like Ghastly's horns. They were giving out plushy keychains, which I thought were absolutely brilliant. I'm assuming they're going to start selling those down the line in different variations because they're super cool. My son actually rocks that on his backpack to school and like he loves it. And then another thing too, before we move on, they also had two collabs with other booths.
Yep.
So they had one with Seventh Ink, which they had last year, and this year was in that same vein of like the art style of Seventh Ink, but instead last year was Ghastly, this year was Mortem. Super sick. They had a pin too, another chase pin as well. They had a lot of chases this year, which is cool. I'm not someone who needs to get them all, but like I got one, I'm happy with it. And then, though, this is the grail of Mischief Toys New York Comic Con this year, was the Vertebrae 33 Mortem, 33 pieces. I mean, that sold out before we were even able to get to the booth, and we got there first thing at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, which that was pretty nuts. Yeah, they still have that hype. The fans,
their fan base
they have are very hardcore, very loyal. And they're going to rock with them regardless. So if you just happen to like be new, you might get something, you might get into this, but like just know they have a following that is very, very, very loyal to them. So, which is really cool. But it was cool to see them and just say what's up. So it's quick, but it was kind of chaotic. Their booth was getting kind of crazy a couple of the days, especially that Friday that we were there. But so my biggest, let's say, booth and takeaway, and obviously I've been getting more and more into them, and thanks to you, but was definitely the Veefriends and the Veefriends booth and the whole experience and kind of how they had everything. So last year, of course, they had a little bit more of like an open booth and like a little table in the middle, and Gary was pretty much there like the entire time, and was like, they were obviously handing out their at that time the first Chrome card, and like he was signing them easily. He was signing things for us like left and right, or taking pictures, whatever. But like now they obviously have gotten
Yes.
bigger. Like they're definitely big. Their booth was massive. It was like a huge setup. We walked around. One side was open. They had an upstairs where he had like he was hanging out up there a couple times. They even had some celebrities, if you want to call them, up there.
Boo!
Your boys, Costco guys. But I like I liked it, and like what I enjoyed about it was a few things. Was one, obviously all their products, we said it even beforehand, like they were going to be like probably one of the bigger booths that we were going to be excited for, and it was because of what they were dropping. And I enjoyed every single thing. Obviously, they had their pop. Funko had a version, but we kind of both agreed that we did like the Veefriends version more. So the Veefriends had theirs. They had some comics, so they had 3 issues coming out that were there. 2 like full size, one of the mini ones, like the other ones that had been dropping. They had what else? They
Pins.
had pins. They had exclusive pins. Then they had a slabbed comic, which was so sick, and it was like super rare, 1,000-piece with
They had 3
parodies
blind
of other
bag
ones.
comics.
They were giving out super stickers for free, like left and right. So like there was a ton. There was a hat, the Notorious Ninja hat, which was great. Like we pretty much got one at least, if not multiple, of everything that they had. Except for the prints. I think the prints were the only things that we didn't really got to, but they did have like big prints. They were pretty pricey, but they were nice, of the artwork variants of the comic book covers. But it was just cool to kind of see people again, see familiar faces that we see all the time on like Whatnot streams, and Gary as well. And we did get to meet Gary again. It was a little bit different this time because the Veefriends booth, when he was there, it was kind of in and out. And then he happened to be signing at Walmart because they had an exclusive comic through Walmart, their Walmart booth. So we did get to go. Perfect timing. Like that was so funny. We were walking by, and they're like, "Hey, do you want a comic?" We're like, "Oh yeah, I forgot these were the free comics." And they're like, "Oh, you can go stand in line and get it signed by Gary." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" So then we didn't even realize that was happening. So we got to grab that free comic picture, got him to sign it. So that was cool. But I loved like kind of mingling with some of the people. Some were a little busy. It was quick, hellos and here and there. But I will say DJ was probably like the highlight of the weekend, if you want to be honest, for me, for sure, because he really was a genuine like human. Like you can just see like he was enjoying his time there. He was willing to chop it up with us multiple times. Like we seen him on Thursday outside of the Walmart booth, which is funny. Actually, as we were leaving, he's just standing there handing out super stickers. And we're like, oh, hey. And then, we start talking to him, and he remembered our podcast because we did, shout out Veefriends and put them on Instagram. He shared our stuff. We thanked him, and he thanked us, talked a little bit about what's to come, some art. So it was like really cool to kind of get a little bit behind the scenes. But then on Friday at the booth, he was doing drawings, like little hand drawings. So we were able to kind of meet him again. We got to meet his wife, who was also super nice.
Super cool.
Yeah. So like that was fun. And we got to talk to her for a little while and then talk back to him. And he was drawing for us. Yeah, it was just super fun to see, like, meet him and see that he like genuinely is just like a great person. And he was, everything was great in that experience with him. But the reason why I brought him up is because obviously he's one of the main comic artists and like the kind of guy that's like heading this entire comic book thing for Veefriends. And it's starting to get me into like another realm of things that I didn't think I was going to, which is the comic books. And obviously, like I'll talk about it after because I want you to tap in a little bit on the Veefriends, but like it opened up me and even getting other comics at other places during Comic-Con, which we'll talk about. But the Veefriends one specifically, like super cool. Like I really like what they have so far. I'm missing one. I think 3. I think it's the 3rd issue that I need to try to get. But all the other ones I love, and they're just great. But yeah, you can talk a little bit because I know you are also a fan.
I mean, you definitely stole my thunder for Veefriends, but I agree with everything you said. I mean, We predicted last time that I thought they'd be kings of the con, and for me, yes, they were. Like I started off with Mischief Toys, obviously because I love them. Veefriends was my number one going in. It ended up being my number one, and you said it for the exact same reasons. Their booth, for being such a big company, well, it's funny. Let me take that back, though. Gary is a big personality, even though VFriends is still an up and coming part of his brand. But like, he's out there in the trenches talking to people. He doesn't charge you for his autograph. Like you said, DJ's out there, the head of comics for VFriends. He's drawn us personalized sketches. Like, we told them our favorite characters, and he drew something for him. I actually was like, this is my wife and my favorite character, and he like drew like a, you know, like a heart above my character with hers. I mean, so cool. And like you said, his wife, we were waiting for DJ, and like a woman was like, oh, you know, he'll be back soon. And then she could kind of see, like, well, what can I help you with? I'm actually his wife.
Mhm.
And then when she started talking to us, it's kind of is like a family affair. Like like I feel like everyone who works for that company like genuinely likes each other, which is
Mhm.
rare. I know they work like crazy hours and with people 24/7, but it still is refreshing. But yeah, their product was fire. They had something for everyone. I still am under like I think I personally though like the setup of their booth from last year, but it may have been the placement. I know in their mind it was probably great that they were next to Funko, but like it was too on top of Funko, in my opinion. It has nothing to do with them, but like I feel like I didn't like its placement. I actually think it would have gotten more traffic if it was somewhere else. I don't know if you agree with me with that. It just that back area kind of was like Funko stamp, and I mean maybe we'll get into it a little bit later when we talk about it, and we may not even, but like the Funko booth just isn't what it used to be. Being next to Funko last year or even 2 years ago probably would have been better than it was this year, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Because it even made you like when we first got there, we had to wait in a line, but you were basically like butting up with the Funko booth. It got a little chaotic, and I do think sometimes when people were going to the VFriends booth, it was like, where do you go? Ultimately, you
Yeah.
know, it wasn't as busy at certain times. But yeah, they were pumping out that brand, like you said, giving out free super stickers. And unlike other brands, I mean, this is why Gary's smart and he's a genius and he is where he is. Like, they're all over the floor handing out stuff. They're not just like in front of their booth. And they had a whatnot presence as well.
Yeah.
Like there was a whatnot hat that you could only colorway you could only get at the whatnot booth. And as they had a show there at one point, they were giving away crazy stuff. But yeah, the booth was run so smoothly, had a really nice operation. And what's also cool is because like VFriends has kind of become like if you're not familiar with them enough, like they're a live shopping retail brand at this point. Like Gary's really all about that. He kind of was the poster boy for that Comic-Con. He talked about the new Walmart Live. Like you said, that's where we met him to get the Walmart exclusive comic book that also only had a super sticker that they can only get there. But they were all over the place. They gave you huge bags, which I really liked. They kind of, you're holding them around.
Mhm.
My only thing personally that upset me a little is like I don't think they had the reach yet as I would have liked them to get. Not for like for me personally, it fit everything I wanted. I did think more people would have been like all about them, but I don't know if they were. I'm just being a little critical. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah. I mean, I personally don't think it was like their booth or what they did and whatever. I just think it's the people that like are part of their thing, like just weren't at the con or weren't able to get to the con.
Which is
Like there
fair.
was definitely people there. Like we recognized people and we've seen people that
I
do
meant more
streams.
like
Like some of the big people were there.
I really wanted this con. You know how last year everyone had Thrilljoy bags walking all over and you couldn't miss them? I was hoping that VFriends could have gotten a little bit of that chunk, and I
Yeah.
just don't think they did. And that is not like
Yeah.
I'm
I
just
just don't
being
think
like,
there's people
yeah,
that don't know, because I mean, perfect example. And this is where like you realize that like how many people there are in the
yep,
world in the US, and like what we may think is like, how do you not know who this is or what this is like something that still, it still exists, right? So we got into the Walmart line, and
oh
we were
god,
standing there, and there was multiple people after us that were getting in just because it was a line, and they would grab a super sticker because someone's like, hey, you want one of these, whatever. Like, you had no idea what it was if you
yep,
didn't know Veefriends, right? They were just, hey, you get a free pack of stickers, you want it, boom. So they were grabbing it, and then they were getting in, and one person says to the other one, they're like, what is this even for, what are we in line? They're like, I don't know. They're like, I don't know, somebody's like, I guess they're giving a
sign
comic.
something,
Oh,
yeah,
I don't know, this guy's signing. And they even said his name, or they didn't know his name, whatever, and they have no idea. And it just made me think, and I said it to you, like we kind of talked about it a
yeah,
little bit, but like it's interesting to think. It's like, to us, it's like, come on, like, you don't know who that is, or how do you not know this? But it's just like there's still people that just don't. And Comic-Con specifically, and also this was another conversation we had, there's certain people that go there that have fandoms and have things, whatever, that we have no idea what the hell it's about or
that's
why or
true.
whatever. And that's all they're there for. And there's tons of people that are only doing that. There's obviously the tons of people that are only doing cosplay. There's tons of people that are only going there for the Yu-Gi-Oh cards and like buy this,
Yeah,
whatever. And there's people doing it, right? So it's like it's such a array of people. I think it's great that they're there. They have a presence, they have a booth. I think it's smart that they have a little bit of everything. Like they have the figure, they have
yeah,
comics, they have, so doing a little bit of something, but not everyone knows who they are probably yet, even though we feel like they should. It's still something that they're still pretty
still
new.
super new.
Yeah, they're
I
still
do
very
get
new.
that.
And I think the booth setup was interesting because it was like kind of open, so you could just kind of walk up, but it also had like a little bit of a line. It was a little weird. That part was a little strange. Like I
Yeah,
feel like the good thing, efficiency wise, they did work well because they did have a lot of people working, so they were able to kind of get you through a line quickly if there was, if you got into a line. But I get what you're saying. I just think I guess I'm giving them a little bit of benefit of the doubt. Like I think
oh
there's
no,
just so much at Comic-Con that like, because
I'm
even
not
let's put it
saying it
this
about
way.
Veefriends. I just meant like I wish more of like perfect example. Maybe I'm not articulating what I want to say. Like when we were talking to DJ's wife, and until she got to realize that we were actual fans, like I know they probably all thought like the fact that they had a Funko Pop would convert people from the Funko booth to come buy their stuff, and it didn't seem like that was happening. Most people are just buying that Funko to flip it.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%. But then reversely, whatever. She's obviously diehard Veefriends. She knows about the cards. She knows about the comics. She know nothing about Funko.
Funko,
So it's the other way around. So like a lot of their people, which Funko is massive, don't even know what Funko is or what a pop is or how, like that
how
hype
big that
is
is
in
in the
that
culture.
world. Yeah, exactly. So I just think it's just apples and oranges. It's like two massive people in a similar world, but they just actually don't really know each other. I guess it's kind of weird. But we just happen to mix with a lot of stuff, obviously. So it's a little
Very
easier
true.
for us to kind of transition to it. But yeah, I agree. But I mean, like, obviously, would have been awesome to see all those bags around. But think about it this way: there wasn't that many giant Funko bags around the con either.
No,
So,
because it's funny. The thing I actually wanted to get at the end of our whole con conversation, which I mean, I feel like these are the main things we wanted to talk about. We can obviously talk about a few more things, but this year's New York Comic Con didn't feel like how I said we predicted Veefriends would be king of the con. I don't think there was any actual king of the con this year, if that makes sense. It kind of just was like flat. Just a lot of stuff going on. No one brought the vibe that Thrilljoy brought last year to give like Thrilljoy their flowers. Like just like comparing last year's con to this year. For me, once again, and you, I know personally, the Veefriends booth was the highlight for me, and I got all their stuff, and that was what I wanted. It was awesome to get the comics. Like you said, that slab was sick, and there was a mystery, and they were already graded. And Gary also knows how to cater to collectors. It was super cool that we already got a graded slab of a comic. It just like this year's con, I just felt was no one really put their stamp on it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Like, I don't think it was like everyone. Like, yeah, the Thrilljoy thing was a new thing that everyone knew about and went. And I feel like if they had a booth, maybe it would have been similar. Someone else, whatever. But I don't know if it was like a negative thing though, in the sense of like I
No.
do like the variety and the fact that like we were able to, because we didn't have like one. I mean, Be Friends was what we wanted to really go to. Obviously, Mr. Toy we want to check out. Then we had like little things here and there anyway, so it gave us more time to really just kind of wander
Yes.
and walk around a bit, and like even go up and down a lot of those like smaller comic aisles that we don't usually do. And that kind of opened us up to like what I was saying before, like how many different things and companies
That's
and
cool. That's
types
there.
of collections and stuff, right? So like I guess it to me it was like a con that compared to last year, like I liked seeing all the variety and the differences, and that it wasn't just like a massive line at one booth that you weren't going to be able to get into. So it was, I see your part, but I don't think it was necessarily like a negative thing. I think maybe you, especially with V Friends, kind of wish like it was like that was where all the hype was and everyone blew
Yeah.
them up or whatever. But just maybe it's just not that type of crowd. And
Yeah.
who knows how Saturday was or how Sunday was,
You're right.
because we
And we
weren't
weren't there
there
on
those days.
Saturday.
So
And I know Veefriends will tell you their motto is brick by brick. They're still building the brand, which they did. They did an amazing job. And I'm not trying to be negative at all. I had an amazing time at New York Comic Con. I just, like you said, you see the same people there, and I'm like, oh, I really just want this brand to grow because in my opinion, it deserves to be grown. Especially just like the interactions we had there with those people. Those are the best interactions that I think I've ever had at Comic Con of any
mhm.
sorts. Which I mean, that goes a long way in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was definitely a highlight for both of us. It was a highlight. So for sure, it was strange where it was, and I agree. Even if we want to talk a little bit about Funko, even like Funko being in that corner, it was the opposite side of where they usually are. Although like a lot of bigger places were kind of over there, so they definitely did a weird layout. It was a bit different, but I agree that the two of them were a little too on top of each other. The lines were both next to each other, so it kind of like, even though there was like that little divider thing, it
Yeah,
was a little tight. um Funko did have obviously their new premium blind box like product, which was had like a little window, so like you were able to see and grab those. Didn't seem like they really had much out. It's not really officially, I believe, out till like November
yeah,
anyways. So I think it was kind of just like a sneak peek thing that they just happened to like launch and be like, oh, we're gonna bring it to Comic Con to test this out for some people. So there wasn't much there of product, I'm sure. Um, they really were pushing K-pop Demon Hunters, which didn't have for sale there, but they were
no.
showing off because like as a pre-order, which was kind of interesting for them to do when it's not like a con exclusive product. Like I don't know if you thought that was kind of like strange, but I
I
thought
thought
it
it
was a
was.
little strange.
I think
Like it
they
was cool to
wanted.
have that there, but like like they should have had it for sale, or that was a
I
little.
agree. I think they wanted to be within the cultural moment and let people know it's coming,
Yeah.
rather than. I mean, let's be real. When they come out, it's not. No one's going to care. Unfortunately, I mean, people will still buy them that they're fans, but like, it's not like having a product right there at the con and you're able to get it.
Yeah.
I think that's why they did it, which I actually think was kind of weirdly smart of them because besides that, like, I'm sorry, I thought their booth this year was trash. If I'm going to be negative here, I mean, like, that booth is always so immaculate. It's so cool. I mean, it just showed it was, an example of the times with Funko. It was smart of them to not waste as much money
Yeah.
because they didn't need to. I mean,
Yeah. It
there was
was.
no hype this year. It's funny you talk about the bags. I don't think I really saw anyone rocking a Funko bag at the con.
Yeah, or like we saw a couple
Well,
like
yeah.
no, but I mean like the people that were flipping and putting stuff
Yes,
to the side, like which
exactly.
we normally do, but there was way less than we normally see. Usually see them all kind of lined up or sitting outside or to the side with Funko Pops, and it wasn't that kind of build up. People were still, there was still reservations, the lines were still getting crazy, stuff was still selling out. Like, it was still there. There's enough people, and over the 4 days, it's
Yes.
gonna happen. But the booth, like, quickly, like, one, they had obviously that K-pop set up, and they had like a little display with all the pops. They had like a massive like Funko of Derpy, basically, right? Which that was cool. It was a nice photo op place. The Freddy that they had in like the hot air balloon, super cool as well. Like a
Yeah.
nice big setup. But it was the first time that it was like a really, really open booth, which was interesting. Usually that whole like put a wall up, you got to go around here, you got to go there. I feel
Yeah.
like that to me is more exciting, is a little more secretive. Like, oh, what do they have? Well, we don't know. And then people come out. This made it look more like other booths, which Funko has always
Yes.
been the one that was always different when it came to that. Like Thrilljoy did that. You didn't know what the hell was in there until you snuck in and you looked in, right? Like that whole aspect makes it a little bit more exciting, at least for those type of products. And they constantly had a line. They had a line the whole time. So like, I'm not gonna sit here and say like no one was buying Funko and there's no hype. Like it's still there. It's just it was different. It wasn't like what we're used to. And I think some of that, because again, this is only two people out of millions, but some of that we thought was the lineup. Like the lineup wasn't the craziest. Like, yeah, there was some stuff here and there maybe people liked, but it didn't seem like it was the most exciting. The the like clamshell things and those mystery things seemed like to kind of be the hot thing for flippers and for people to try to,
It just seems
rebuy
like
or
a
whatever.
flipper booth now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it always was though, but I mean, that's the way I've always thought. I mean, tell you, bro, that one first Comic Con we went to, and then we walk in and there's that dude sitting on the ground with like 50 pops and
Agreed.
selling it. Like and then they would get another reservation. And that's what it's always been. With the
You're
whole
not wrong,
reservation thing and with bots and stuff, it's literally
but
always gonna be that.
the fact that they've always had like an interactiveness to their booth made it feel a little bit better for the people who didn't have the opportunity to get the pops.
Yeah. Which they just had that little, like I said, that little small window that had the blind boxes, but they didn't have like giveaways and like fun things in their box or in the wall or whatever, anything like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, it was different. It wasn't what we're used to seeing, that's for sure. But I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, it was there. $7 a pop was also on that side. Mystery Grail. Um, Brian was doing some signing there, actually. Mariotti, which is cool. Look, he signed there, and he signed over Funny Toy Temple, which kind of became the Thrilljoy booth because basically half of their
Yes.
booth was selling the Thrilljoy products. Like they were their main retailer that was selling those products. So if you did want Thrilljoy and you wanted picks, like even though they didn't have a booth, they still had like a presence, which I thought was good. That was smart of them. Teamed up with
I agree.
somebody, still get your products out there. I grabbed some of the Terrifier pixels. They're actually behind me over here. I grabbed them through that booth. They had multiple other like picks as well, but at least they were there. And Brian was signing as well. There. Funny, who's only signing picks, the only Thrilljoy stuff. No,
I know.
no, don't bring him a Funko Pop.
I did find that funny.
Yeah,
But I did think
but
I thought that was good that they did do that because like
yeah,
you felt like they had some sort of a presence there.
exactly. That was like the big thing. And then like Rokimoto, we knew they weren't going to be there, but they had that one exclusive, which was at Toy Tokyo, not Toy Temple, and they both went to similar places. Toy
Yeah.
Tokyo booth, and they had Astro Boy was there as well, and then they had the Snoopy exclusive. But that one was a little strange. We had an interesting experience
Yeah. That not the
at there. I know they had a representative from Rokimoto at that booth and kind of around. We didn't happen to
we
ever see
unfortunately never
them.
ran into her.
Yeah, unfortunately, because we did rip open obviously the cup of fun that we grabbed from there. But it was cool to at least see that. I was kind of surprised that not many other booths had like Rokimoto products, like even reselling them. Um, but maybe it's because there's not enough out there, because I
Yeah.
just keep saying this, like we're not getting that other wave really, really getting out there. So it's probably
$7 a
the
pop
main
had
reason.
the Astro Boy.
The Astro Boy, yeah.
And like I
So
will say, I'm not we all know we love Rokimoto on this channel. It is unfortunate. I'll always be honest. That booth didn't help them to have their exclusive, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate. It just wasn't a great setup. The way stuff was being sold there was, I mean, I have no problem selling a story. I mean, we waited, we picked out our Snoopies, and it took them forever to check us out. Their credit card machine wasn't working. They must have swiped my card like 10 times, and it like wasn't doing anything. And it was just super weird because it was like a fake Square machine, but then they went and got like a real Square reader, and then it worked immediately. But like we could have just it's just unfortunate. And they weren't really like, I was like, oh, do you have the like exclusive? And they're like, oh yeah, I think it's right there. Like it just
Yeah, especially that first time we went, it was just opening. It was kind of like they were late to like setting things up, and
yeah,
it
was
a mess.
unfortunate.
Unfortunate for Rokimoto for sure, because they deserve a little better than that. But yeah, that was weird. The other thing I did want to point out, something personal to myself. So we were walking randomly, again, like I was saying, just kind of going in and out of little aisles, going around, and we turn a corner and I see someone signing, and I'm like, no way. And it was Roger L. Jackson, who of course is the voice of Ghostface, who of course is like my favorite character like ever. And I was like, oh man, I was like, I gotta get, like, he's never been to Comic-Con. He even told me afterwards that it's the first time he ever went to New York Comic-Con. So like it just seemed perfect. And I was like, I gotta get this guy to sign a pop. So like they actually had like common pops there. So I was able to get that and get it signed by him. He was super nice, sit for a little bit.
A while.
Yeah, he talked for a little bit. He kind of did like a voice thing. He was being kind of funny. And then I got to sit next to him, take a picture. That whole thing was great. And I was able to, probably can't see it, but it's hanging up there actually on the little stand. But yeah, that's going to be a personal grail of mine. So that was like a highlight of like just like a small little personal thing, where like last year it was, the Carpenter signing my Halloween movie poster pop. So like I feel like every year I gotta have like one of those.
You gotta get a horror one.
That was one.
You gotta get Art the Clown.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes to cons, but pretty cool if he was there. Is there anything else from the con that you can? No, it was interesting to see like some booths, like the Whatnot had a big booth, obviously.
And I mean, Whatnot overtook where Funko used to be. The Whatnot booth was like huge.
Yeah, they had like live streams and stuff the whole time.
Yeah, like I would have preferred to be a huge Funko booth over there, if I'm being completely honest. But the one thing I also did notice this year, how we said how the layout was different. I'm assuming real estate changed at New York Comic Con this year, and I could kind of feel it based off where certain brands were. Like they charge more money or something. Like I don't think that was just their decision to like change the layout. But like even Walmart had like that huge booth in the middle. But also like I feel like I'm noticing from pictures like we missed some booths like that,
which is crazy.
We walk, like I never feel that way, and I don't know, like I don't know. I did not love the layout this year compared to forever, and I've been going for a really long time, like 10 plus years, and it's always been kind of, maybe I'm just being grumpy about it. I knew what to expect. This is where the Marvel booth was going to be. This is where the Funko booth is. You knew this is where X, Y, and Z were, and then you could discover small little brands here or there. This year, like very few booths had their staples. And even the Marvel booth was not the size it normally is. Like they had less real estate. Like it was just interesting. But then the DC booth was all the way in the back, where normally it's just like throwaway booths. Yeah, it was big, but it was more just like an interactive booth to take pictures with, barely to sell anything. It was interesting. It was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely different. We walked a lot.
We walked a lot.
Painful.
Very painful. Very painful.
But yeah, overall, it was still it was a fun experience. We had fun. I mean,
amazing experience.
We had fun regardless. Like going down to RS Alley was pretty cool too. We got to check out
our
some
butts
stuff.
on things, of course.
Butts on things stuff, of course. I got some comic books.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, I don't know. I got like a sick Batman Hush like comic, like art. It was a crazy artwork.
See, I
like
think your best pickup of the con was the Terrifier comic
and
book,
then I was gonna say then the which it was so funny because it was right before the con. I remember seeing the post. I don't know how randomly or who posted it, but I seen it. I remember sending it to you, and I was like, "Oh, this is sick! I'm gonna have to definitely check this out." And I didn't know where it was. I remember the name. It was like Comic Fiend or Comic something like that, and it just happened to be we were walking, and I remember telling you, I was like, "Is that where the sign?" Like, so I'm pretty good with like visual memory and like seeing the color, seeing the letters, whatever it was, just clicked to me, and I was like, pretty sure this is where it was. And we go over there, and they have the one I was talking about. And if you guys haven't seen it, if you're watching, I'll try to pop it up. But it was a Art the Clown with the camera sideways, essentially just the same way as the Killing Joke, which is a Joker, very famous comic, and he's like holding that sideways like old camera, but it's Art the Clown and all bloody and whatever. And it was like super sick foil, and then there was like different chase variants of like different colors that you can pull. I think the total was maybe 2,000 piece or so, but then there was like a 500 piece, a 200 piece, a 50 piece, like that, whatever. And when we go there, I see, and then the dude that did the art was there that day because every day it was a different person. So I was like, this is perfect. So he signed it for me, which is cool because, you know, it's just awesome to have him because he was the one that did it. And it was a blind bag. So obviously, because you could get a variant, I pulled out and I pulled a purple one, which was like out of 40 or out of 20. I think out of 40, I think it was, which is pretty rare. And it looked one of the better ones. The purple just like kind of fit perfectly to the theme of it. But yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, you had good comic.
I found another like Ghostface comic that they had there.
What? You had good comic blind bag ripping at the con.
Yeah, I pulled 2 comics blind bags, quote unquote. But the second one was a Veefriends one that I got for free because I pulled out a card that happened to say, "Hey, free comic." So they gave me one, and it was the Viking comic, which I already had. But I was like, "All right, cool, just rip open this, whatever." I rip it open, and it's the variant color artwork on the cover. So I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And then I got the actual artist to sign that, and DJ as well to sign it. So yeah, it was pretty successful comic. And then now I'm buying like bins to put my comics in, and like, bro, dangerous.
The Veefriends comics are
it's
cool.
another, but it's always another thing.
Another thing to collect, I know, but they don't take as much space. That's what you keep telling ourselves.
Exactly.
But you just made me think of another thing too that Veefriends did that was super awesome. They also did a scavenger hunt in Artist Alley because most of
that was fun.
The variant cover. So the way it basically works is the common covers are drawn by, you know, DJ and the artists that work for Veefriends. And then the variant covers are, you know, maybe drawn by like an established comic book artist within like the Marvel or DC world. And yeah, most of them were at Artist Alley, and if you went to their booth, they gave you a free sticker that was like a legit awesome sticker of their characters. But what was awesome was we definitely got a preview of some other comics that are definitely coming out based off of comic stickers we were given, because those comics have not come out yet or been announced, which was super cool.
Yeah, that they're going to probably do the artwork for.
So Veefriends did everything you could do. Honestly, they hit it out of the park.
It was good. It was definitely fun and exciting for sure. But yeah, that was our con experience. Obviously, you know, we got to meet great people. Like I said, you know, shout out to everybody that we did get to like interact with. James, shout out to James, finally actually meeting James.
Yes, James was
finally
great.
meeting Tony Ann in person, which is cool. Pops up. NYCC, meeting him in person, like people that we like kind of talked to, or Funko Tech, we saw him like the most,
so much,
especially that first day. Every time we turn, we're like, hey, it's him again, and we say what's up. So yeah, a lot of people that we at least waved, said hi. Alex, we got a bunch of people at Thrilljoy, PRP Tonor over there too. So like just kind of at least give even just acknowledging people that like recognize us was cool. So it was definitely a fun experience for us. But we're gonna get into a little bit of like some new stuff, because obviously the majority of this ended up being all our experience over there.
The people want to
But
hear it.
yeah, but we will talk about some things that are out now. Obviously, one of the things just quickly was a Thrilljoy news that we want to talk about. Obviously, they hit the 1 year because last year New York Comic Con was when they first came out. So being so that they did that, they did something a little special, right, Charlie? So you can kind of get into what they dropped.
Yeah, so as we they now have 3 mascots. So they have red, tux, and blue, and they made versions of all 3 of the mascots in kind of like birthday attire with like a birthday hat, holding balloons, and they dropped one on Wednesday, I believe Thursday, and then Friday was the blue. So like the first drop was red, then it was tux, then it was blue. And then on the Friday, which was blue for his birthday, which I appreciated, was you got free shipping on anything for the whole day, which I thought was super cool. I did pick up a blue because I still really do like blue. I didn't pick up the other 2 because what, it's funny, not to go off on a tangent, but like some people complain all the time that their shipping is ridiculous. Other people are like, I don't even think about the shipping. I buy 3 separate ones, and so like there actually was a whole like beef thread going on. I don't like a Thrilljoy posted about this. Mostly the Glazers were saying, who cares about shipping? I'd spend $100 on shipping to get this figure. And other people are like, yeah, no. And if I'm being honest, like I waited I was going to get the blue no matter what, but then it was like free shipping. It was amazing. I do feel like that's why they didn't put them all out on one day. I mean, but they were cool figures. I do think the blue one's the best. It also makes the most sense because the other people weren't here for 1 year, even though they're celebrating Blue's birthday. So Blue turned 1 year old, I guess, as a full-fledged adult. But yeah,
it did make sense. Like obviously that's the original OG, but it's cool that they did something special, something a little different. Obviously, they're celebrating the 1 year.
And the one thing I loved about the blue figure, which I feel like is kind of a little bit, I mean, you have to be living under a rock if you saw it and didn't get the Easter egg. If you're a Thrilljoy fan, he's normally doing the peace sign. He was holding up a 1. So I thought that was cool. So they actually put some like effort into the figure.
Yeah.
Which they always have. That's one thing we praise about them.
Yeah. Especially, these, even like the red and the tux when they came out, like we love those original characters, their outfits, their color, like everything has always been great. But I will say one thing that regardless of what is specifically coming out, I feel like from beginning to end, the picks as we know it now, the new picks product has just been amazing. Like it's like what we always say this, but it's like what they should have always had.
Yeah.
But at least they got to there and they're kind of running with it. We're getting a lot of different type of stuff, a variety of different like a lot of horror stuff has been lately, probably because obviously it's getting into October and stuff, but we are getting a little bit of everyone. I feel like we've kind of maybe there's some rumblings that they're going to go into some other bigger IPs, hopefully. So that would be something that will definitely open it up for even more people. But yeah, that product and even the Pixel product, like I've been able to rip over now the like mascots and then most recently the art and Terrifier pixels, and they're cool. They're like really, really cool. Like each little figure is like really detailed, even though they're like super tiny. Overall they definitely the quality has always been a big top-notch thing for them since the beginning, honestly. But then we have something else from the other big boys in town, Rokimoto. And this one was an interesting one when we saw this, because I know we kind of talked about how excited we were when they had a little sneak peek and it was like something spicy. And we kind of, even in the regular Godzilla, what's it called? Cup of Funds, there's like a spicy version, he's like all fiery and whatever. So I kind of almost thought that was going to be what it was, but I'm like, why would they announce it like this? It's interesting. But then they go and they announce a brand new product, figure, whatever, completely different. Not different in the sense of like it kind of looks similar to their products, but bigger, way more premium, super
Some would
exclusive.
kind of jumbo.
Looked like something else that already exists. And is going to be very exclusive, meaning it's only going to come out at certain places. And that, of course, is the RokiChan.
This is sick. Like it's numbered. There's 1,234 pieces.
Yeah.
As you said, it's only going to be at cons, but they're going to be individually numbered. You're going to get like the certificate of authenticity in it. Comes in like an awesome box. And once again, like if you're not big Rokimoto fans yet, what are you doing? But if you want to get a vibe of what this figure is going to look like, just go check out Funko, aka Mike's passion project before he left the company. I mean, this is Mike doing his now version of the Jumbo Chans at Funko over here at his new company. I mean, it is like to the T, like, but like, I mean, he created that product. So I can't, like, I don't even look at this as being a copy. Like, in reality, the fact that Funko still makes those kind of pisses me off, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it was such weird timing.
It's weird timing.
I feel like they kind of slowed down. I guess maybe they're not going to anymore.
Dude, they're coming out with a new one. They're coming out with a Scorpion. Like they've also ruined like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Like it's now starting to become a little
really.
Like,
I didn't even see that one.
They came out with a Godzilla one a few weeks ago.
Oh.
And like they're a company, they're allowed to do whatever they want. Mike, when he created that product, we all knew Funko owned it, but like,
yeah,
I don't even think they sell that well because they are premium and they're expensive. And we've talked about Funko for so long. That fan base has never really been quote unquote into premium products. They don't have a problem spending money on grails. But like they never really seem to buy
like a little Funko Pop that literally just happens to be a grail. But...
yeah, but they never, when Funko actually innovated and made new ideas that we would get excited about, people are like, yeah, no, I'm not buying that. So I'm kind of happy that they're gonna be doing this over at Rokimoto, and you know, he has his passion over here.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, Spicy Godzilla, you know, like the color all black and everything with the red tongue, like it still is the same designs and like mold essentially as the regular ones. It's just going to be a little bit bigger. I don't think anyone has actually said officially the size.
They haven't. You know, maybe we're just assuming it's bigger.
Well, like the box makes it looks like it's gonna be bigger.
Yeah,
like it's in a very. I mean, then again, that could be the size of like a Mischief Toys box, like it's a square, you know. But I just feel like it's not gonna be in a cup. Obviously, it's gonna be a little bit different. I'm assuming it's gonna be a little bit bigger. We don't really know a price point. Even it's something that's gonna be coming out for the first time now at Designer Con, is where they're gonna actually have this. It does kind of stink, like if you're not able to go there, but. We've been proponents of this. Like we say, hey, if it's exclusive to a con and it's special and we're not able to get it, it sucks. But that's just part of the game, and we're okay with that. Agreed. So not making it super mass produced or whatever. But obviously, it's a very limited number. We'll be interesting to see kind of how this goes, how it sells, what the price point is, and that kind of stuff, what it looks like in person. But it does look pretty cool because obviously, I think they had a short. Where one of the guys was holding like the holding one, right? But it might have been the one from the cups.
It's the one from the cups.
A little confused.
They haven't showed this yet.
Yeah. So just a picture on there.
But it's also funny. This makes sense why they're debuting this at Designer Con, which obviously I'm assuming it's better quality. Like everything about
be like a premium designer toy, in a figure. But yeah, that's definitely a cool thing. I mean, it's funny that it is like obviously the Jumbo Chans from Funko, but we know that was literally Mike, like loved that product. He released that product essentially right after their Project Fred, which we always said was like a terrible Funko product. This one we did say was way better. Price point was not the best. That like wasn't easy to just get all of them. But the premium aspect of it, the size of it, like the molds and what they were doing, we all kind of had always been fans of. So I'm sure we're going to be fans of these.
Yeah, like
especially like this is the first one. I'm sure there's going to be other ones.
I have the Freddy one, and it's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I remember watching that whole thing when Mike announced it, and like, I mean, I'll never know if this is true, but we had heard rumors at one point that like the only reason Mike even promoted that Project Fred was because like they were like, if you want your Jumbo Chan, you're gonna have to promote this product, because like it's just funny because the Jumbo Chan was just so cool, but yeah,
Yeah, it was so much
they're
better.
expensive.
So much better than the other one, though. But yeah, that for sure is something that is cool, and excited to see that Rokimoto's still out here doing something new and different, and it's not just going to be those cups. Which is
Yeah, hopefully it like leads to even more new product lines. Like I think we still have more product lines in the future.
Maybe. Then we have some news in the card world.
Yeah.
So we got a couple big drops, one that just dropped and then one that's about to drop. Both in the Topps world. So Topps honestly is like just doing its thing.
Crushing
Like they've obviously been around forever. We always kind of compare it to them being the big one, the big top. That was just strictly sports, right? When we're talking about football cards, baseball cards, all that kind of stuff. And then they just really been dabbling in this other world of, Disney and of even like entertainment and random products. And obviously Veefriends got in there with Topps Chrome, and Star Wars does stuff, Marvel has stuff. So like it's always been exciting to see a lot of these new sets. But then the word came out that there was going to be a set with the Labubu monsters as the newest set. So when we first saw it, obviously it was pretty sick, and we were both kind of like, "Oh, this would be awesome if we grab it." It's obviously all like nice artwork by like the artist and the original one. Colors are cool, a lot of variations. He's got even some autographs in there as well. But at first I kind of was like, okay, maybe this will be a pretty decent set. But then the more I thought about it, and then when you even brought it up, when we saw how many cards are in these packs and whatever, it kind of made sense that this is just going to be a very exclusive set, like not as many cards in the full set and variations and whatever. But what was the price point again?
It was $50 for
50
one pack with 5 cards.
5 cards, yeah. So you were getting, which, kind of, I mean, I'm not going to lie, a lot cheaper, but kind of similar to like when they do those very exclusive, like the Disney, like actually at New York Comic Con, they had the Disney Topps box, which was one like encased sealed card, which was obviously going to be a super nice one. And then a pack or a couple packs or whatever it was with chance at maybe getting something else. But that was like way pricier, like 150 or plus, whatever. So like 50 bucks. I mean, it's obviously pricey because you're only getting 5 cards. But it does kind of lend to like, I think these things are, and they sold out super fast. So I think these things are going to be cards that you're going to see randomly out there with wild prices.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we didn't get any. I mean, I didn't even get to go on in time. I completely forgot the time that the drop was coming out. But
would you have though?
Me, I don't know. If I was able to get one, I feel like I probably would have. Because like at a $50, even though it's only 5 cards, right? It's $10 a card. But the $50 overall price point to me is a little easier to swallow, like knowing you're going to get something that will be pretty. It's going to be worth it, right? Rather than like the next thing we were going to talk about, or some of these other ones like the Disney one at the con that are like $150 or $200, and you're also getting a super limited amount of stuff. Like that's just a little too rich for me to kind of dabble into. But I don't know. Are you a fan of that higher end stuff like that?
Well, it's funny. Like here's why I'm not. It's just because like this is the same that I've always said with Funko Pops. Like I like to collect cards for fun. It's awesome to pull like sick cards, get them graded. But like, I'm not really in the flip game, and like I feel like that's what like Sapphire is at this point. You're like hoping to either just gain your money back and then you can keep the cards if you want as a collection, or it's like you're hoping to pull that diamond in the rough or that sapphire in the rough, and
that's the gambling mentality right there.
Exactly. Which is like, that's actually why I didn't go for the Labubu cards because in my mind, I was like, oh, I kind of did want those. I'm like, do I regret not getting it? Like, I don't know, but I feel like that's still just a flipping game. Like, I don't think I really needed to spend $50 on 5 cards. So, I mean, you're right. I guess $10 per card isn't that crazy, but like to just say I have those cards.
Yeah. Yeah, because
That's
that's
what
what it's
I
going to be. It's
struggle
going to
with.
be a big,
Yeah, in the card game in general.
Mm-hmm. No, it is. I mean, we both really have enjoyed getting back into it and getting stuff, but we've also like it's happened with Veefriends and it's happened with other stuff that like we're passionate for and we will collect, you know, even the sports side of things, but sometimes even those get to a point that it's like now we're investing way too much into this because you got to be like fully balls deep into this thing where it's like this is all you're doing to like make it really worth it. Because like you said, to get that one card or pull that one, like although like I get pretty decent cards, like I have a pretty good pull rate, I guess you could say, but the chance is obviously slim. And then obviously, like you hinted towards, Topps Chrome is coming out with a Disney Sapphire edition, which will be dropping on the 22nd. So it's Wednesday. Um, and that's always like a much higher end price point. It's pretty expensive usually. The box is only going to give you like one card. I think that's what it is, right? It's like one exclusive card.
I
Like
think
literally,
this has
so on
more
this
than
box,
that,
it says
but
one Cinderella 75th anniversary Sapphire card per box. So maybe that's included in the
yeah, but
box.
it's still like you're not getting that much. Let me see if I can find
Yeah, the
the
amount I
exact
don't think
amount.
is a lot. It doesn't say it on the front of the box, but on this one. Oh, by the way, it's $480
Yeah, like
only. Nice disc trackers. Only $480.
yeah, like okay. Once again, for like breakers and people who make a living off of it, they don't care.
Okay, it's 8 packs, 4 cards in each.
Yeah,
So you're getting,
it's crazy.
8 packs in each. That's crazy. 32 cards for $480. So like these are more than $10 per card.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one was $10 card, right? So yeah. But you know, it's high end. It's not for everyone. You know,
I get it.
there's collectors that will get it. They love this. It will sell out. But yeah, it's the
This will
tier
sell out
above
instantly.
what we like to collect.
Yeah, like I mean, Veefriends. I have every Veefriends product. I do not have a Veefriends Sapphire card.
Yeah, true. They had their Sapphire set as well. Yeah, it's an intense world out there in the card.
But then again,
game.
people when there's Veefriends Series 1 breaks, they buy one card for $700.
Yeah, they're out there. It's there's a reason why these are priced where they are and whatever, because somebody will do it. There's people that will buy it, there's people that will spend, and then maybe that person sells it for even more. Like it's just the world that we're in. It's
Getting into
crazy.
cards has like opened up my mind like to like so many different types of people in the collecting world. It's insane.
Yeah. It is very intense. And each one kind of has their own little niche group, but then there's still that breaking community that it doesn't matter what they're opening because
it's just an addiction.
It still gets money. Yeah, it's addicting. But yeah, I think that was it. Unless there was anything else that you can think of.
No, that was the big things.
But you know, overall, great experience that we had at New York Comic Con. We'll be back at it again. We actually did. I did want to mention this because who knows if we figure out a way to do it, but we did mention maybe trying to go to some type of like smaller con or different convention some other time, because you know it's hard for us to get over to San Diego Comic Con obviously, and then New York Comic Con will continue to do. But I like, now that we're getting more into comics and cards and different things like that, like it would be fun to kind of check out some other conventions and stuff. So obviously something somewhat local or at least drivable for us would be the easiest thing, but we'll be checking out, seeing what's in the.
It's crazy because they're actually, I wanted to text you, but I'm like, I can't go, so it doesn't matter. But you could always go if you wanted. There's got to be a card show in Edison, and Veefriends is going to it.
Oh wow, really? It's a card show?
It's a card show, yeah.
Huh. When is that?
I'm gonna be in Disney. It's
Oh,
the
so it's a
like
week. Yeah.
week before Thanksgiving.
Mm,
I was just like, oh, what crappy timing, because that would have been sick.
damn.
Like, once
Yeah, and that's
again,
not too far.
that shows how they're hustling that brand so though. Like I think it's gonna be in like a rinky dinky, like tiny,
Yeah,
like hotel, like
but
showroom.
but
They're
isn't it
going.
funny to think that like they still have like these boxes and this product?
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's theirs, so like it's okay that they have it and not just like a random reseller, I
Yeah.
guess you could say.
That's the problem.
But they're selling it at that rate because Gary knows what he's doing. He's gonna make the money, but it's just Topps Chrome was still a crazy, crazy drop. I wish was a little different, but we'll see what they do going forward because I'm sure they'll have another set Series 2 type of thing coming out of Chrome and more stuff to come. But
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
we'll see.
hoping. I'm still feeling the next set is more accessible. Like I feel like it has to be.
Yeah.
Maybe
See.
it's wishful
We
thinking, but
will see. Yeah. It's still people
even though
go
it's
crazy
funny,
for it.
DJ actually said on a stream that Walmart is going to be having like stocking stuffer type Veefriends product, whatever that means. But like it's showing that they clearly, that relationship was meant for a reason.
Yeah, we said that Walmart thing was definitely going to be something.
And it makes me
Made
feel
sense.
like they're going to carry their product, their Chrome product.
It could. Yeah. They could definitely do that. We also have mentioned that they should get into a little bit more into the figures and toys,
Yes.
toy figure type thing world because that'll help for sure. But yeah, we'll see what's to come because now we are also really into these damn comics and it's getting kind of crazy. But yeah, overall fun stuff. Excited for that to check out that Rokimoto product to see what that looks like. And of course, we'll stay up to date with everything and any other news. Feel free, you guys, comment down below anything that you guys were excited for, what you liked, anything about New York Comic Con. If you were there, if you happened to miss you, I know we had a couple people. I think we had someone that commented.
I know.
Hopefully, we're going to see us, but I don't think we never did. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. But yeah, most of the other people it was most of the regulars
cool
that we've seen before. JKL, actually, we got to see what's up to him too. Yeah, we had our stickers that we gave out. If you guys didn't see, that's obviously we were hinting towards the Thrilljoy pair of us, Rokimoto, and our logo. We were giving those out, but yeah. So till next time, Charlie.
As always, you can find us at Collector Chatter, at Collector_Migs, and at Collector_Charlie. If you're listening on podcast platforms, we really appreciate it if you could leave us a review over there. Obviously, leave us 5 stars. And as always, if you're on the Spotify platform, you can always answer the question per episode there because they have that cool feature. It's really fun to interact with, and we do answer you back there. But you can always then obviously come over to the crown jewel, aka YouTube, where you can watch our visuals. And as Migs has said, alluded to even in this episode, we pop up things that we were talking about. It's the only spot where you do get those types of visuals for the podcast. So please come over here. And as always, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like this video, hit the notification bell so you know when new videos come out. And please comment and also share this episode. All this stuff helps. We're still slowly itching to grow the channel, but we really do appreciate everyone who comes and listens to us for every episode. And as always, collecting is the way. Until the next one, later.
Peace out, everybody.